Did you forget how to open the show?
Yeah, little brain for let's start over.
I mean, I kind of like leaving it in. Have a little behind the scenes kind of thing, you know. Have a little weird, silly, you know. Well, I can edit it out too, but you know whatever.
Well, no, that's all right. Welcome back, everybody, to the show. Sorry about that, a little brain fart. My name is Jordan. We're your host, Jordan Johnson, and he's taking a sip of tea. You know,
I'm having some tea. Yes,
I'm really tired.
Yes, this is that's Jordan. This is Christian. Welcome to the Let Me Tell You Something podcast. We are off to a very interesting start here. It sounds like. So this is I'm kind of stoked because this is our first podcast, our first episode into the new year. You know, the last episode, our last 3 episodes have been holiday themed. You know, we had New Year's, two-part New Year's episodes. And then right before that, we had our Christmas special. So, you know, now we're kind of back to business, back to, you know, regular shit, if you will. So I'm stoked. How, you know, so far with the way this year's going and everything, how are you? How's things going for you, Jordan? You know what? Let me ask this, because you started doing this this new diet. Now I keep referring to it as a Mediterranean diet, which is not exactly what you're doing. If you want to explain that a little bit. So how is that and like your like workout that you're doing? How's that all going for you?
It's going good. So I'm not specifically doing the Mediterranean diet because that diet you could eat, you know, all the meats. You can eat, you know, vegetables, fruits. Just basically all of the really like the real healthy stuff. But what I'm actually doing is I am essentially eating what people back in biblical times, back in Israel, what they ate, and they didn't really have like meals like you and I would have a meal today, like you go to a restaurant and you have like chicken, like some fancy or not even fancy, but just some meal that like takes creativity to put together. Like you know pieces of chicken with basil on top, with a little marinara sauce around it, with a little bit of bits and pieces of pasta. Like not that kind of meal, just essentially just all the things I can eat are on a plate. So like for instance, you know, a few of the, well, not a few, but a lot of the things that they ate, you know, back in the day, back in biblical times, was like unleavened whole bread, or like unleavened grain bread, or like flat bread. Grapes. That's the only fruit that they ate back in the day. Puberty. That voice crack. Dang. So like, you know, flatbread, you know, whole grain bread, that kind of stuff. Grapes, figs, dates, and fish. And, you know, obviously amongst other things that you can eat. But like the quote unquote meals I have now aren't like the meals you and I would eat. Like if you went to like Olive Garden and you had like a meal there. It's just essentially, again, whatever they had back in the day is on the plate, and that's your quote-unquote meal. So I'm having that. It is pretty good. I'm eating very little. There's like one thing of fish. Like for breakfast today, I had 1 piece of fish, 3 grapes, 1 fig. 1 thing of flatbread, and that was it. That was it, and obviously water. You know, there's no tea back. You know, there's no tea, no coffee. Water. Been drinking a lot of water.
Sorry, real quick. You said there's no tea, but you are having tea, right?
Every once in a while, yeah. But the main thing is not having any like fast food,
right?
No fast food of any kind. No sugar, and by sugar I mean like no candy, no No cookies, no cake, brownies, brookies, pizza, nothing.
Rookies.
Nothing. Like no food with artificial stuff in it. Again, like fast food, that kind of thing. No sugary drinks, no soda. Even though I love my energy drinks. No Bang, no Celsius. Just stuff that is from the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
So that's going well. It's delicious and it's tasty.
And it's nutritious.
It is nutritious.
Yeah.
Because you get your protein. I have chickpeas. Honey is also a thing. Well, specifically raw honey. I don't really know the difference between like raw honey. Well, I mean it's honey from the wild and
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah. So if you look at my fridge, there's really nothing except and how could I forget this glorious thing I just discovered, and I'm gonna drink it from now on. Goat's milk. Love goat's milk. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you
The goat's milk is delicious.
Yeah, you didn't really know, like, you've never had goat's milk.
I've
before.
never had goat's milk before. It's still obviously it's milk, obviously, so it still tastes like a milk, but it's from a goat, and it's like What I think it is, it's the perfect balance of sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is sweet, but it's not like a sugary sweet. It's not like an over like a intense type of sweet. It's like if sweetness could be like on like a timeline type deal, and like the amount of like how much sweet is or how less sweet is, and I'm just babbling on right now. But no, goat's milk, delicious. I'm actually almost done with my first carton of goat's milk because it's that delicious.
Well, but you got it like what 2-3 weeks ago, something like that.
About a week.
So
ago.
it's
no.
So I wouldn't really say it's like that, crazy. That you
well, because I'm altering, to like sometimes tea.
No, but I mean
water.
But what I mean is like I think if anything, I would almost expect you to have gotten through it sooner, if that makes sense.
No. Yeah, no, and the good thing about it is I'm full, and I still feel like I could like run 12 miles, like it's good stuff. And the workouts, I'm doing calisthenics, which I would rather lift weights than do calisthenics.
What are you doing for calisthenics?
So one of the major things for calisthenics is one of the things is pull-ups. I cannot do a pull-up to save my life. If a gun was aimed at my head and the person with the gun said, "I'll let you live if you do one push," or not push-up. I'll let you live if you do one pull-up. I'll just be like, well, if push come to shove, I could do it, but like on a regular day, like do a pull-up. I can't do a pull-up at all. It's rough. But other than that, push-ups. I'm surprised sit-ups aren't in there at all. So push-ups, pull-ups, different kinds of squats. I know there's a pistol squat, which I looked up. The pistol squat is the hardest squat to do because you're literally like balancing on one foot while dipping your whole body down to the freaking ground. And pushing and getting back up again in the same position. It's the most difficult one to do. So pull-ups, push-ups, squats, lunges. Definitely a big emphasis on cardio. Around 7,000 to 8,000 steps. I will say I've been slacking in that department. So come what is today? Saturday. Yeah. So come Monday, because I like to do everything at the beginning of the week. Monday. Seems like is the isn't Sunday the beginning of a week, or is it Monday?
Okay, so Monday is the beginning of the work week. And Monday is what I consider the beginning of the week.
Right.
Okay, so it's interesting because you were talking about like how you're eating in like how they ate in like biblical times. So if I am getting this correct, the idea is Saturday was originally the Sabbath. That's what the Jewish people recognize as the Sabbath. That was the last day of the week, and what they recognize as the Sabbath still. When Christianity came into play, and they recognized Sunday as the Sabbath, Sunday became the beginning of the week. Personally, I mean, we literally call it the weekend. So I still view like Saturday and Sunday as the end of the weekend. Now, if you look at a calendar, Sunday is the beginning of the week. No. And personally, I do consider Monday the beginning of the week.
Same.
But, however you want to.
But yeah, so come Monday, I will start to do the whole walking 7,000 to 8,000 steps. Yeah. Which I calculated. It's about an hour of cardio, which is fine, obviously. And plus, It'll help me to get back into my track and field body, because all throughout high school I ran track and field, and I definitely had a runner's body before my bones grew more denser. But yeah, I'm really struggling with the push-ups. Obviously getting them done, but man, it's like again, I would rather lift weights than do calisthenics. Yeah. And like over the past like 2 or 3 days in the morning, I've been looking up on YouTube like different like weightlifters, like bodybuilders, that kind of stuff. Like one of the debates that they do is like, which one is better, weightlifting or calisthenics? And they go around. There's like a Miami version. There's like a Miami version where like they whoever whatever channel whose ever channel it is, they go out amongst the people and they ask. And they obviously specifically target weightlifters and people who work out and all that kind of stuff. And they ask them, hey, what's better, weightlifting, calisthenics? People say for longevity, for functionality, calisthenics is better. But for like if you want to like look super ripped, super buff, that kind of stuff, if you want to have the look of like getting like being jacked and ripped, then weightlifting is the way to go. But quite a bit of the weightlifters that this one guy, I think Andrew Choi, I think that's, anyways, he went around and he asked all these weightlifters, which one is better and which one would you rather do, weightlifting or calisthenics. Right. And the majority of them said they would love to do calisthenics because it's, again, for longevity, it's for the longer run instead of, weightlifting, right? Let's say you're doing weightlifting, all that stuff, and you stop going to the gym, you stop weightlifting for like a month, right? Those muscles, your weightlifter, your jacked body will go away. Yes. But for calisthenics, like you're always going to have that body type because you're working with your own body weight all the time.
Yeah. So basically, you are going to have moments where this is something like our buddy Logan did, where and this is something a lot of those those transformation body videos and ads and stuff you see online, and not even just online, but like on TV or whatever, where you have this guy where like they have basically like a dad bod, and then they like go to like being ripped and like, oh, this is what they did on my program or whatever. Well, the reality is they already had that muscle under that fat. That's why they can say they went from this to this in only 6 weeks. Well, yeah, if they're really dedicated and they already had that muscle built up, they just have to shed that fat to reveal the muscle. Logan did that. He has a video. We can actually link it too, where he did like this whole journey where he started the thing where he was like, guys, I've gotten fat. And then he took you through this process. This was like 2 years ago, I think he did it, where he took you through the process of like basically going fat to fit. I don't know if he called it that, but he was already, the reality is he was already in good shape under that fat. He just built up a layer of fat on top of it. And that's what happens with a lot of these guys. You and me, and a lot of guys in general, like we have a level of muscle under our fat, of course. And there is a level of like shedding that fat to reveal that muscle, but there's also a level of needing to build the muscle itself.
Yeah.
But, I've talked about this before, and this has been cool. This is something we were talking about in our group chat, where Logan was basically saying, like, look, you got to do what works for you. Well, he didn't say that. He said something like the best workout is the one that you stick to. So you were looking at calisthenics or weightlifting. For me, I'm focusing on cardio. And by the way, let me just address the elephant in the room. Yes, I'm coughing a lot. I'm getting over being sick. It's part of the reason why.
You got the vid.
I did not get the vid. I just got sick from tis the season. It's part of the reason why we didn't do. It's actually the main reason I think why we didn't do an episode last week. But I'm a big believer in, as I say, you got to find what works for you. So if that's calisthenics, by all means. If that's weightlifting, whatever it is. For me, I think the thing that I'm most focused on, what I'm trying to do, and what I'm gonna do when I get back, when I am over this cough and I get back in the gym, is cardio. For me, like being slim is more important than like having muscle. I mean, like it's good to have a level of muscle, of course, but for me, like I've come to realize that, and it's probably this way for a lot of people, but like for me specifically, my issue is that my body does not line up with like how, like who I envision myself to be. This is part of why, and I won't go too far into this, but this is part of why I say that like everyone can understand the trans experience, because like even as like a cis person, I understand what it's like to say, okay, I don't like my hair color. I don't like how pale I am. I don't like how I'm pretty overweight. I can do all these. I can do things to change these things about myself, to slim down, to put some muscle on, to dye my hair, to either get a real, or in my case, I do fake self tanning. I can do these things to make myself appear closer to the way that I want to. The difference is that what I do for myself is more or less cheered on as a man and is not politicized like it is as a trans person trying to do things to align with how they view themselves internally. And that's why I say that like everyone can understand the trans experience in that way. But what I wanted to say on that is that for me, like it's not about like, oh, I want to get like big and bulky so like I can like get girls or whatever, because for one, a lot of guys that like go that route of like trying to like get like really bulk up, they end up getting more attention from dudes than they do chicks. Like there's a level of like muscle you want to have to be hot, but then past that it's just like it's not attractive. So it like for me, I'm doing it for aesthetic, so I look good and feel good about myself, and yes, so it's easier to get girls. That's like that's me. Those are my reasons. People have reasons where like if I will say, and I think this is something you say, and you are legitimately this way. You like you say you want to work out for your health. I think that people that legitimately want to like work out just to be healthier, dude, you're like a fucking saint. Like, more power to you. Because you don't have any kind of like.
Any ulterior motives.
Well, I almost want to say like selfish.
I'm kidding.
Like not selfish, but like it feels a lot more like, oh, that's like really honorable than it is to be like, yeah, I want to like be hot and like make it easier to get laid.
So be vain and shallow.
So okay,
yeah, I'm just kidding.
No, it's funny you say that though, because like I jokingly,
what I just did listening to it with like headphones on or whatever, it's really loud.
It's alright.
When I said got him, that's gonna be loud. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah, but you can see the microphone spike and the thing.
Sorry, everyone. I am a boisterous guy.
You are, but it's okay. No, because like I remember we actually had this. I don't remember if we talked about this on the pod or not, but we had a conversation about Logan, where like, or not about with Logan, where he was actually kind of like talking about this with me, and what we found was that like it actually is not vanity for me. It's about self-esteem. It's about the fact that, like I was saying, my self-image does not line up with who I appear to be, you know? So what I'm trying to do is align my physical image with how I internally view myself, or at least what I internally want to be. And again, that coming back to how even cis people can understand the trans experience. You know, I say all that because I think at the end of the day, most people, especially myself included, really what we want, especially excuse me, especially if we're saying, you know, I'm doing this to like look good or whatever, right? What we do want is we want to feel better about ourselves. But I think that anyone who's like, oh, I'm health is the only reason I'm doing this, like, that's amazing, because you'll get better health as long as you don't go too. Now here's the thing, right? If you're saying health is my reason and that's why I'm on steroids, like, no, that's not. You know, but like if health really is your reason and like you're gonna work out, you're gonna eat whatever to be healthy, that like fucking more power to you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I think that's incredibly honorable, young one. Yeah.
Or Jordan's son.
Oh, Jordan's son. Yeah.
Jordan's son. Me no XOXO. But no, New Year's going good for me.
Yeah.
You know, nothing to complain about yet. But no, it's all good. But no, New Year's going good for me. Eating good. No, it's funny. Every I don't want to say every now and then, every day. But yeah, every day. On my way to and from work, I pass so many McDonald's, Culver's, Taco Bell, I pass probably 50% of all fast food joints. And especially at nighttime, because in the daytime, like I'm trying to beat the traffic, especially the traffic. Well, that's another episode for another day. Just the people on the road. Anyways, yeah. No, but it's you know, so like during the day, you know, it's like, hey, I really got to get to work, or like if I'm running a little bit late or whatever, like I've got to get, you know, through everybody to get to work. Like that's fine, you know, I have motivation to like I can't stop here, you know, because then I'll be late or whatever. But especially at night,
it's worse for you at night.
Oh,
you get off at like 11.
I do.
Okay, hold up. You know what? I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna pull a Kanye. I'm gonna let you finish.
A Kanye?
Yeah, when he, you have to know about when he told Taylor Swift. So this is like one of the things he was like famous for.
His outburst.
Well, no. So Taylor Swift was like accepting an award, and Kanye comes up and he's like, He's like, now Taylor, I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce had the best album of all time. Like, you know that bit at like the VMAs?
I think so.
Like
yeah.
2006 or something, 2007, something like that. 8. I don't know.
I think so. Maybe
it's going up in numbers.
Um,
Yeah. Anyway, but so I'm gonna let you finish,
okay.
and then I'll tell you about my like driving experience. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, especially at night. Oh man, and most nights I'm tired. So I'm going, and I've haven't really eaten anything except for breakfast for the whole day, and so I'm kind of in a flow state of just like calmness, and I'll pass a McDonald's.
As you do.
Or a Taco Bell, or Culver's is closed. Like I think at like 10. But anyways, so I'm passing all these food places, and I'm like, just one. Just one double cheeseburger, maybe a double cheeseburger meal with a large fry, large Dr. Pepper, a little bit of ice, maybe an ice cream cone. Who knows? Only the wind will tell. But no, so
you have a bad habit of like stopping by,
especially at nighttime. Yes, it's very tempting. And there have been some nights where I've literally had to like, I've literally had to like speed up so I could find like a group of cars that are just cruising down the road, and I like get in the middle of them to where I can't rush and try to get to a McDonald's, or like if I'm trying to get over into the right lane to go to like a Wendy's or whatever, there's no cars blocking me. So he's got
apologies.
Yeah, a bit.
It's not the vid.
So yeah, there have been some times where I've had to search out clusters of cars on the road and purposely get like inside the cluster of cars. To where, like, if I have to turn right to go to a McDonald's, I can't because there's cars blocking my way. All the way until I get home, or all the way until I get to my apartment. So yeah, especially at night, it's rough for me because I don't got really nowhere to be. I don't really have a bedtime per se. Whatever. So yeah, especially at nighttime, it's rough for me.
Right.
So what's your Kanye moment? Moment?
So basically. Yeah, so what you're talking about with the whole like okay. So you're like you're talking about your driving thing, dude. So I just started this new job at the beginning of the year where I have to be at work at 9. I haven't had a job where I had to be at work at 9 since a good time now. No, it's been like 10 to 6 from the last like 5 years or so, 6-7 years, something like that. And then the next this last job was 10 to 7. But this job I'm doing now is 9 to 6. It's, without giving like too many details or whatever, it's like an hour from where I live. So I have to drive in like 8 o'clock traffic. I have to leave at like 7:30 in 8 o'clock traffic to get there, and I leave at 6. And 6 isn't as bad as like 5, but 6 p.m. traffic is still pretty bad. My point.
I 6. I hate 6 p.m. traffic.
6 p.m. isn't nearly as bad as 5 p.m. traffic.
I hate all traffic. Just kidding.
But my point is, you work from 2 to 11, right?
3 to 11.
3 to 11. Okay. So you drive at really good times. Like the traffic you deal with is not bad at all.
I would. I beg different. Buddy, it's rough.
Are you stopping and starting in traffic a lot?
Yes. I try not to. But yes. Yeah, No.
Okay. Okay. I figured you probably aren't at those times, but okay, maybe I don't know. Maybe you're dealing with a lot of bad traffic, but anyway, yeah, traffic's not great.
No, I hate traffic.
Yeah, traffic is
not. I dislike the people in traffic.
Yeah.
Because, tell you what, man, people just love to just not care about you in traffic.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Yeah. So, I will tell you, like, going from that into it's really an interesting segue, but, okay, so, you brought up something that I try to stray away from a lot, which is anything that deals with revealing the vicinity of where we live. Part of the reason that it's okay. By the way, so this is really funny. Logan, when you listen to this, I think you'll understand what this means. Whenever I do that, whenever I say like the reason, I look at the microphone and like point to it as if because I know you're going to be listening to it. And like you'll get it, so I don't know. It's funny how I do that. But anyway, so part of the reason that I you do it too. That I
stray away from.
Yeah, that I don't want to like reveal anything about
road in America.
Anything about where we live.
No one's gonna know where we live just based off of the name of the road, or yeah, the name of the road.
People are crazy, man. People on the internet can find all kind of information about you, and
because is a long stretch of road.
It is. That's fair. But
now, if I said blah 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 blah,
no, I get it.
Blah blah blah,
I get it.
I get it. Then y'all be like, hey, let's go mug him and and go sell his toenails.
It's not. Yeah, no, it's not like regular people that I'm like. Anyway, whatever. The segue into this. I really don't want, and I'm becoming increasingly concerned about excuse me.
Vid.
It's not the vid.
Hashtag the vid.
It's not the vid.
Bring back the vid.
No, do not bring back the vid. Do not
bring back. No, I'm just kidding.
Do not bring back the vid. No.
I saw the worst in people during that too.
The only
disgusting human beings.
The only thing that was good about the vid is it forced us to work from home, and I much prefer working from home from this bullshit that I'm doing.
Yeah, but people should work from home. I don't want to see these nasty bastards. That's disgusting. No, you don't even know.
What are you talking about?
Little story time.
We won't even get to my. Go ahead.
No,
we will. But no.
But so this was fresh in the middle of the vid, right? COVID-19, right?
Sure.
Well, everyone's staying inside. I wish I could have worked from home, but
yeah, I know.
So you got it made, you got it good, but
right.
But yeah, so I was out, and I actually it was kind of cool because there was really no one on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, cool. So I don't have to be behind it. Well, so I stopped at this 7-Eleven. I had to go to the bathroom, and I was really craving a bang.
It's a character from Spider-Man.
Really?
Craven.
I didn't know that.
Shut up.
I'm just kidding.
Keep talking.
Yeah. So so I stopped by 7-Eleven, wanted to get a bang, maybe a egg salad sandwich, but I didn't need to go to the bathroom.
Right.
So I go to the bathroom. I'm doing my thing. I'm in a stall, and I'm doing my thing in the stall, and to my right in the stall next to me, I can hear a guy, doing his thing, yada yada. Get doing my thing, go out. And I, wash my hands, blah, blah, blah. And as I'm washing my hands, out of my peripherals to my right, this guy, big burly man, comes out of the bathroom stall. He walks right by me, out the door.
Oh yeah.
And by the sounds I was hearing, he was doing the number 2.
Didn't wash his hands.
He did not wash his hands.
Right.
The nasty bastard.
Mm-hmm.
And I never do this, but just because we were in COVID-19,
yeah,
and because that virus was so easy to spread around,
yeah, wasn't good.
What he did, he walked past me, now I washed hands, walking out of the bathroom, back into society, moved me to go, got to wash my hands, I went out, and I tried to find this guy, see if he was still in 7-Eleven. I found him. He was buying something at the cashier, and I walked up to him, and I tapped on, hey, I'm like, hey man, bro. He's like, what? I'm like, were you just in the bathroom? He's like, yeah. I'm like, did you wash your hands? He's like, no, what's it to you? I'm like, do you not know what's going on?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. I'm like, so you know COVID-19, blah, blah, blah. He's like, well, yeah, I know. I'm like, okay, then why didn't you wash your hands, man?
Yeah.
And so after a long talk between me and him, he's like, all right, I'll go and wash my hands. And I'm like, all right, thank you. And that's what you should just do on an everyday basis.
Yeah.
Especially after taking the number 2.
Mm-hmm.
And so, he goes in, a few minutes he's in there, comes out, rubbing his hands, and he gives me this look. I just give a look right back. I'm like, don't be giving me a look like you want to kick the shit out of me, dude. You're a nasty motherfucker. Not even washing your hands. Like, you're going to get more people sick along with the COVID-19. Like, you're going to give someone the flu or someone a cold. And if they have COVID and they get the flu, then it's like, oh, wow, that's rough. Having the flu and having COVID? Dang.
Yeah.
Talk about not being able to smell or taste anything. But yeah, so he walked out, and like I said, I got my bang. I got my
bang.
I got my egg salad sandwich. I got my Bang energy drink, the blue raspberry to be specific, because that one is the more tastier one. And the cash register guy, he looked at me. He's like, "Wow, can't believe you did that." I'm like, "Yeah." Oh yeah, do you not like? Come on, man. Like, he's like, "Nah, I get, but people, they just kind of go over that." I'm like, "Yeah, well, they're nasty." And he's like, "Can't disagree with you on that."
Yeah.
And I walked out, got in my car, and drove off to work. Yeah, and that's my my nasty COVID story. Yeah.
Yeah, no, like you said, nasty. Yeah.
Nasty, very nasty.
It wasn't good.
No. Hashtag wash your hands.
Yes, wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Yeah. Okay, so I got totally. Oh well, okay, it still kind of worked. So 2020, COVID happened. This will still lead into what I was going to talk about. So COVID happened, and there's another pretty big event that happened during COVID that caused a lot of protests. I'm sure you remember the murder of a man named George Floyd, which
I was thinking the White House.
What about the? Oh no, that was 2021. You mean the insurrection attempt, Jan 6?
Yes.
That was 21. That was January 6th, 2021.
Gotcha.
So we kind of have a repeat of 2020 in this way, where there was and this person was like the perfect victim, including being a white woman. A white 37-year-old woman by the name of Renee Good there are multiple angles that have been captured of this event at a traffic stop that ICE caused. During an altercation, we'll say, with Renee. An agent killed her. I don't know if you've seen the videos. I don't know if you've seen how this relates, though, to all that is, of course, after people saw George Floyd being, like, horrifically and needlessly cruelly, if cruelly is the word, done in a cruel manner.
Crueler.
You understand what I mean. Like, he was just evil.
That's a tongue
twister. The way, like, that he was killed and everything, and it being captured and all that, and seeing this, for me, I've talked about this before, that was what, like, radicalized me. That's what got me interested in politics, and was at the point where I was like, I can't not pay attention to this stuff anymore. We're seeing a similar thing happen to people who have seen what has been going on with Renee and the reaction to it. Right now, what we are seeing in Minneapolis, we are seeing 100% Nazism, where the ICE are the modern day Gestapo, or at least brown shirts. They are literally, and even like Kristi Noem and stuff has been saying, like, well, maybe people need to just have their papers on them, prove that they're a citizen. Like, really? You mean like the Nazis going around, papers, please? And I saw this thing on Twitter where this person was pointing out it wasn't even just a Nazi thing, but slave catchers did this too, where they would like, oh, prove you're like a freed slave with like your papers or whatever. And they would just deny the papers if they wanted to, if they just tear them up or whatever. The reality is, because people are seeing this happen, and they're seeing, there are a lot of people who have seen the videos, and a lot of people are trying to say, oh, whatever reason they're trying to give for like why it was justified for her to have been killed. And the reality is, most of these people, especially online, that are talking like this, you will never get through to them. Because the reality is, they just want an excuse for an organization like ICE to kill the people they don't like. They want people like Renee. There was this person who, this like actual like Nazi kid, who was like in a line with ICE around him, like shouting at protesters, saying like, "We got one of you yesterday. We'll take more of you." And it's like, holy shit! Like they're just saying the quiet part out loud. They want to kill at least people like me. Even anyone that opposes, anyone that is an immigrant and is they see as like an affront to America as it is or whatever. Really just anyone who isn't white. That's why they're doing the whole Somali thing and why they did the Haitian thing a couple years ago, because they can't just say... It's basically... like, it's politically disadvantageous for them to just outright say they want to kill black people. But they can say, oh, those Haitians, they're eating the cats and the dogs. And those Somalis, oh, they're doing fraud for some childcare thing, which the entire reason that ICE is there in the first place is because this fucking idiot, and I do mean idiot, this guy who did this like video on YouTube, he is an idiot. Like, he's done interviews and stuff. The guy seems like he probably can't even tie his own fucking shoes. He can barely form sentences. He is an idiot. His name is, and he might, honestly, he might have some, like, mental deficiency or something. I don't know. But he's, whatever. Point is, he put out this video where he went around to, like, different, like, childcare services in Minneapolis, outside of their operating hours, and was like, well, why are there no children here? Why are there no people here? This is fraud. They're taking they're taking taxpayers' money and paying for this organization, but there's no kids here. Dude, they told you it opened at like 11 a.m. and you were there at like 8 a.m. or some shit like that. Yeah. Or no, it opened at like 2 and he was there at 11. It's like, This kid's name is Nick Shirley. He's doing the whole like right-wing gambit or circuit kind of thing where he's like on all his interviews. Fox had him on. I think at least they did. I know. I don't know. The interesting thing, and I think it's ultimately going to fail them, but like we are seeing a shifting of. So about like 10 years ago or so, it was people like the Daily Wire people. It was people like Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, Candace Owens, Michael Knowles, all these like quote intellectual people, Jordan Peterson, quote intellectual people who were like right wing and spouted right wing talking points, but did it from a point of like, you know, oh, I'm just asking questions, or I'm you know, whatever it is, right? And the way that the right has moved now is very much like you know the guy Asmongold.
Oh my god!
Yes, they are like this like based kind of fucking like brain rot is how these people are. There was this thing where I felt so bad for them. It was a family where two siblings had a podcast and they interviewed their parents on the podcast. Their parents are very strong MAGA people. The kids are not. And they were asking their parents, like, well, what if like Trump ordered to just like, you know, carpet bomb like some other state or something? Well, I'm sure he has a reason for it. It's like, okay, let me give you this hypothetical. They're like, because they were in California, I think, and he's saying like, what if like we're at the mall, you know, I'm at the mall. The son was saying like, what if I'm at the mall and he orders some like, you know, National Guard to come in and shoot up people in the mall for some reason, and I happen to get caught in the crossfire. I happen to be like in that. Like, what? As your son, like as my parents, how would you? Like, well, you know, you shouldn't have been there. Like, he must have had a reason. Like these, like the sister pointed it out. She was like, "No, you're in a fucking cult," and the way that these people think, where and like I say, the tide is shifting, where more and more people are waking up to how terrible ICE is. More and more people are waking up to how terrible, not like the Israel that you know from the Bible and stuff, but the modern day Israel, and like Netanyahu, Bibi, all those people, like Bibi Netanyahu, that's the same person. But even before him, the project that has existed since like the 50s, I want to say, how horrible that is. They're waking up to seeing the things that we're doing with, like we America are doing to, we attacked Venezuela for no reason. Now Trump wants us to go after Greenland. They're even talking about putting boots on the ground. All this different. It's Greenland does not want to become America. Like they don't want to become a part. Like no one. This is stupid. Like there's and what it is it's at the end of the day. It's funny because we just watched Road to El Dorado.
That's right.
What those guys, what the imperialists were doing when they were like, you know, the Spanish, they were conquering different countries and stuff. That's what this is. It's imperialism. It's expansionism. We used to, when it came to like Iraq and Vietnam and all these places, we would say, "Oh, we're going there to liberate them." Yeah, what they said about Iraq is they'll welcome us as liberators. That's why in the game Helldivers, when you take over a place, you say, "Oh, we've democratized this place," because it's like making fun of the like American kind of ideal of like when we come into a place and we Americanize it, we're liberating it. Which no, that's not the case. I've talked to you about this before. I don't remember if I showed you the images or not, but not Israel, somewhere in the Middle East. I don't remember where it was. It's like where does Aladdin take place? Like not.
I want to say Egypt.
No, it's not. It's like
it's like
I know it's Agrabah, but like what is it?
It's like
Southeast Asia or something.
No, it's like South,
like the Sudan or something.
South Arabia. Something like that.
Well, I don't remember the country right now, but it might have been Iran. It might have been somewhere else. I think it might have been Iran. But whatever it was, there are images of what it looked like and what the people looked like, how they dressed, all these different things in like the 50s and 60s before we started fucking with them. And they looked like us. They dressed what was modern back then. They looked like regular people. The women were not fully covered and had no autonomy and all that stuff. Because what happens when you have an imperial force like America or like any other country, like England did this to the India, for example, when you have these countries come in and normally to the global south and like, you know, imperialized, you do their whole, you know, expansion bullshit, you cause these people to turn to groups, you create terror cells, and you cause these people to turn to groups where it's like, okay, so we need to fight against this bigger threat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now we have Al-Qaeda, now we have ISIS, now we have, you know, all these different things. Now in Gaza, but Palestine. Now we have Hamas. Now we have all these different things. Like, none of these are good organizations, but they exist because our country and our allies are creating environments within their living situations that force them to create these like militias and stuff like that.
Mm.
That, you know, when it comes to like the Middle East, well, it's very easy for them to turn back to their old like religious beliefs and stuff, and what the, you know, all that kind of thing. And I mean, we could easily fall into, as much of the right wants us to, fall into Christo-fascism. It's not good. It's not. But I believe that people of all countries, if you got rid of the language barrier, we would all pretty much be the same. We'd all pretty much get along and have the same like interests and stuff. And I think part of the like something that shows that to be true is when you see how appreciated like foreign entertainment and stuff is. You know, you don't like watch like a movie with like a Spanish or Indian or whatever cast and you're like, oh, I don't understand any of this because that's not my culture. If you can read the subtitles and you can understand what they're saying, you get it. Like, you can relate to the stories and stuff because they're human stories, they're human experiences. We don't watch anime. I mean, yes, there are some things like that are culturally different, sure. But like, look how beloved anime is in the West. You know what I mean? Like, we're not Japanese, but like, you know, so many Americans and otherwise love, you know, anime and all these other different things. So I think that, like, you know, this othering that people often do of other cultures, for one, it only ultimately serves the like 1%, maybe even 0.1%. It serves the military industrial complex. It serves corporations and these oligarchical people that are wanting to, and in some ways are, controlling like the government and like all these other different things. And not just our government, but like other governments too. And I want to be clear when I say that, because this is part of the thing too. A lot of people who, part of this waking up process that a lot of people are having as they're coming to terms with this stuff, excuse me, is understanding it. Part of there's a part of this where people look at it and it's very easy to fall into simple ways of understanding and explaining things, like anti-Semitism, especially when you see like how horrible Israel has been to Palestine and their other like foreign enemies and such, like Iran and all that. It's very easy to look at that and say, "Oh well, it's because of the Jews," which is anti-Semitic and is incorrect. It takes a level of like really being able to understand the situation to be able to look at it and say like, no, these people aren't doing these things because like they're Jewish or some bullshit. It's just that they are incentivized and are like currently they have a like terrible leader, but they're incentivized to do these horrible things to their enemies, to their like political, their foreign enemies, and you know it's you know, so what we're seeing is like, you know, we're basically seeing like the death of MAGA and the death of like that kind of republicanism, if you will, and we're seeing the rise of this new version, which is called America First, which is very much led by and like the face of this kind of thing are people like Nick Fuentes, who are out and about, full on Nazis. And you know, we're at a point where things are getting really bad with things like ICE, with how we're trying to do imperialist expansionism to other countries for no real reason. They're not even pretending anymore. They're not even... They kind of were with, like, Venezuela. But even Trump was like, oh, it's about the oil. Like, people were like, oh, well, we were trying to free them from this dictator or whatever. It's like, oh, no, it's about the oil. It's about the oil. Which, yeah, we know. You know, all these different things. And, you know, while things are getting really bad, kind of similar to in 2020... where a lot of people started waking, including myself, started waking up to like how bad systemic racism was and stuff like that, and how bad police brutality was for like black people and all these different things. A lot of people are starting to wake up to just like all the other things that like just like, you know, with ICE and the expansionism in Israel and all these different things. And even things with like the economy and stuff, because you look at it and it's like, okay, like, because they'll say like, oh, well, you know, defenders of this stuff will be like, well, you know, invading Venezuela or Greenland or whatever is actually going to make America richer. Okay, it's not going to do anything for you. It's, you know what's going to make richer? It's going to make the people at the top richer. The people who are already too fucking rich as it is. The people who need, this is like a whole other thing, but and Ro Khanna talked about this, but we desperately need a severe, like fucking, very intense, very, intentive, is that the right word? Very intense and intentional tax on billionaires. Like, they are basically sucking up all the money, holding it and doing nothing with it, and it needs to be dispersed to the people. Like, we are in such a dire state, especially with like the national debt and all these different. It's just getting worse and worse. It's not even just about like, you know, like Bernie Sanders would always say, like, you know, they need to pay their fair share. They do. They need to pay more than that at this point. Like, it is ridiculous. It's insane. And taking over or whatever a country like Greenland or Venezuela is not going to do anything for the average person. And I think that's what a lot of people are seeing, is that these policies that they thought were going to benefit them are not benefiting them. And they're seeing, like, they're like, well, I thought he was just going to get rid of the illegals. And it is very frustrating as somebody who knew about this stuff. And, like, I remember you and I, like, we talked about this, and we were looking at the different candidates and stuff, and you were like, well, that all sounds good, too. And, I mean, the simple fact is just, like, what Trump and his party was saying was, like, they were just lying. Like, yeah, sure, it sounds good on paper, but they were lying. But, you know, there's no way to prove, you know, like, a lie like that. You have to, like, tapped in and, like, really understand. So it's difficult to, like, you know. But a lot of people are like, oh, this isn't what we voted for. Well, it is. You just... Some of you didn't know it. Some of you were in denial. But, you know, they're seeing what it looks like to try to do this, like, mass, you know, forced deportation and all these... What it looks like to have, like... Again, like, you know, the modern-day Gestapo in your streets and all these different things. But there are people fighting back. There are nonviolent protests. There's the Black Panther Party, which is basically mobilized, and like there was this. I think I briefly showed you, or we were talking about whatever this, where like they are militarizing and like forming a militia to protect people in Minnesota as this continues to ramp up. And you have people, the same people who fought so much against the Second Amendment are now saying like, oh, well, you can't do that. It's like, you dumbass, this is exactly what the Second Amendment is for. Because the Second Amendment is the right to bear arms and establish a militia. Because the point is, if your government becomes this treasonous, ridiculous organization, like what ICE is, you have the right, by the Second Amendment, to defend yourself against people like that. That is the whole point. That is actually the point of the Second Amendment. It's not to make it so, you know, kids can, you know, shoot up a school or whatever because they got bullied or some bullshit. It's you know, so, you know, people are, the good thing, like the point of this is like things are like really bad right now, but people are waking up to a lot of stuff. And people are coming together and pushing back against a lot of these horrific things that are happening in their cities, in the country, in the world altogether. You know, it's one of those things where it almost feels like, you know, people always say like, it's going to get worse before it gets better. That could be the case. But you know, if we come out of this, we can, and I believe we will, I hope we will, come out of this stronger than we were before. And, you know, maybe that's like a very like too optimistic, too hopeful, too liberal of a like viewpoint or whatever, but I like to believe that like at the end of the day, good people will prevail over evil. But we have to, you know, actually fight against the evil. We can't just, you know, there's also a really good saying that says all it takes for evil to succeed is for good men to do nothing. That's a really good fucking quote. Because if we do the right thing, if we do fight and we do push back, I think we can make some positive changes. But it is definitely gonna take a lot of work and all that. And you know, and for me, the main thing that I do is, you know, just talk about this stuff and advocate and stuff like that. I've never been in a protest. I've never like been out there on the front lines of anything or whatever. But I will say on that note, I think that like all people like have their part to play in these kind of things. And if for me, that's someone who just talks about this stuff and gets the message out, you know, gets my like ideas and stuff out there for people to hear and do with that what they will, you know, by all means. Yeah. Anyway,
thanks for coming to Christian Verstappen's TED Talk.
Listen,
we'll be back next week, and tickets are on sale. $10. Ticket. Seats are going to be all filled up. Again, thank you for coming, and we'll see you next time.
We are we were. It's been weeks since I've been able to, like, get into all this stuff.
Why not?
So I had,
Why?
Because we didn't do. Well, first we had the holiday episodes, so I couldn't get into like any of the big things I wanted to get into. As
You've
far
been
as that
slacking
goes.
on your channel, haven't you?
What?
You've been slacking on your channel, haven't you?
Okay, so I haven't been
Slacker.
No, I haven't been slacking. So, like, okay, let's talk about... Okay, well, let's talk about this now, too. So, like...
Because that was like a segment from your channel. I'm just over here...
I get...
Like, staring off into the abyss, like,
Well, I was going to ask what you thought of what I was saying, too. But,
that was good.
I don't like your thoughts on, like...
I mean... You don't want to hear my thoughts, because my thoughts no one's going to like. But that's another conversation for another day.
Wait, actually, now I really want to hear your thoughts. Now I'm curious. What do you mean no one's going to like? Someone's going to like them, clearly.
A bunch of right people like it.
No.
I don't know, it's just like, I don't know, it's like, what happened to, Renee, what's her last name? What was her last name? Good?
Renee Good, yeah.
Renee Good.
Well, one thing that I was... Well, actually, sorry, you go ahead first. So...
I mean, a little backstory. I mean, again, I don't really dive that deep into anything like this or any politics.
Right.
So, like, my thing is, if I don't know anything or I know very little of whatever topic, I just don't talk about it because I don't.
Which is fair. Yeah, that's a good way to be.
So, like, I don't really talk about this stuff because, again, like, it doesn't, but, and, like, with me, my things are short, sweet, and simple. Like, I don't like, kind of dwell on them too much because it's all negative stuff. But, like, my short, sweet thing is my short, sweet, and simple statement is this. It's like, it is sad what happened. It is. Like, no one ever should just get shot.
Right.
But it's like, if you have ICE agents who are coming up to you armed, and again, in the, like, all these other things from the past couple months or whatever, they've done this kind of thing before, so you should have an idea of what they're capable of. If you see a couple ICE agents walk up to your car and tell you to get out of your car once, twice, 3 times, however times it takes, you should get out of your car and not try to escape. Because then, and I think she almost ran over an ICE agent. Well, again, I don't know. I just heard from people.
Yeah. No,
and apparently that happened, and she got shot, and she died. Like, it's like, she could have, and she left, I think she left behind a wife and a kid. Like, she has a kid or something.
I think 2 kids.
So it's like, yes, it is sad, and it is really unfortunate what happened. Like, that should never, ever happen.
Yeah.
And if you think that should happen, you should have a sit down with Jesus. So that's unfortunate, it's sad, it's bad what happened. But to me, on the other side of that, it's like, if you see these ICE agents come up to you and you know what they're capable of, and they have their weapons drawn, and they ask you once, twice, 3 times, again, however many times to get out of your car, get out of your car. Because then if you don't get out of your car and you try to escape, you're gonna die. Like, you're gonna get shot, and that's not okay. Like, again, that shouldn't happen. Right. So.
No, okay. So first of all, let me just say, I appreciate that. I appreciate you, like.
I know some really wild people are like, whoa, so you're in support of the. No, I'm not in support of ICE. No, I'm not.
So because here's the thing, it's like, if you do have, like, views that are, like, different than mine, fucking tell me. Like, that's fine. I mean, people like hearing us go back and forth when we do have, like, disagreements on things. So, like, fucking, that's fine.
No.
One thing that I want to say that I haven't seen anybody point out, and I think I'm gonna get heat from this myself, is
bring on the heat.
I think her wife. I don't know her wife's name, but I do think her wife instigated them. I don't think, because one of the things of footage that came out was like from the ICE agent's point of view. Jonathan something or other. His name's not important. Well, it is, because he and all the others should be like arrested, and I should be disbanded and like destroyed anyway. But that's besides the point. She like, so they were not trying to have her get out of her car or anything. What they were doing, they were conducting some kind of like, I don't know, they're trying to do deportations and shit. Things they shouldn't honestly be doing, because like, it's fucking horrific. But you know, what they did was originally, like, there was traffic stopped and everything, and they were leaving, and they were on their way to like pick up their kids from school. And there was a lot of traffic in the road, which was like a neighborhood. There's a lot of traffic, and they had stopped. When they were stopped, the guy got out of his car and he was filming. And they were both sitting in the car originally. The wife got out and started antagonizing the agent. She was saying like, "Oh yeah, don't worry, like we're still gonna have the same our same license plates on. We don't change our license plates all the time like you do." You know, she's like, "Why don't you go and get yourself a sandwich, big boy?" You know, something like that, right? And here's what I will say: was she correct? Yes. Did she have every right in her heart and in her mind to say what she did? And do I understand why someone like her and myself, I would want to, like, you want to be that way towards someone like that? Yes. However, when you're in a situation where somebody, and this is true even if it's like a mugger or something, when you're in a situation where someone has the ability to hurt yourself or someone you care about, you don't want to antagonize them. You don't want to give them a reason
to hurt you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, mom comes up to you with a knife. Oh, so, what are you gonna do? Stab me?
And I want to be very clear about this. It is not her fault, nor is it Renee's fault, especially, that she was killed. I'm not putting any of the blame on either of either her or the one that lost her wife. What I am saying is that in a situation like that, you cannot antagonize the person who has the ability to hurt you or your loved one. Like, you just shouldn't do that. That's not a good idea. I would not be surprised if, because they are white women, she acted out of a level of privilege, thinking, well, they're not going to do anything to me because I'm white. Which is it's understandable to think that, because their immigration, they're supposed to be really just going after non-white people. That's the whole thing. And it is important for white people to stand up for non-white people. But one of the things that this shows is no one is safe. No one is safe from just like getting killed by these people.
So sorry, go ahead.
No, I just want to say, so like what I'll say with that is like, yeah, like you want to. I don't think that they, in any capacity, were in the right. Like let me be clear. The ICE agents. And like, seeing all the footage and everything, and there have been all these people that have analyzed stuff, including, like, you know, ex-cops and ex-military and ex-this and that, whatever, who have, like, analyzed this and have shown that, like, the way that this person, the agent, like handled the situation was completely incorrect. What they did was they were on the other side of the car, and then they moved in front of the car, which you shouldn't ever move in front of a car. Like, if anything, you're going to go around, you're going to go behind it for this reason. And what Renee did, she was trying to leave, and there have been multiple camera angles which show that the guy was not ran over, he was not attempted to be run over, wasn't anything like that. After he, like, moved out of the way and shot her, he just said, like, fucking bitch, and she crashed.
Language.
Yeah, which also shows that, like, this guy wasn't, like, fearing for his life. He was angry, and he just, like, it seems like he just wanted a reason to kill him. And I think, and what it seems to be is that Trump wants this to keep escalating so that he can enact the Insurrection Act and declare martial law and really bring in, like, well, in this case it would be the military into the, which is crazy, like in your own country, on your own citizens. Like, it's ridiculous. But yeah, that's the whole thing. And yeah, I don't know. I had something up. But yeah, no. These the thing is, these agents are, like, they were literally pulled from, like, far right online, like the Proud Boys and like all these other, like, white nationalist groups and stuff technically don't exist anymore or aren't as active anymore because they're ICE agents now. And the agents themselves, like, a lot of them are these, like, fat loser. Like, they don't have any, like, physical training. Like, they're worse than cops. Like cops are more, like, there was a great thing I saw where it was, like, too lazy to be a military, too stupid to be too lazy to be in the military, too stupid to be a cop. And that pretty much fits ICE. They're not, like, apparently they don't even do, like, any kind of, like, physical, like, training. Like, they can't do, like sit-ups or, like, push-ups or anything.
No, it's like you're applying, you're going for a drug test for a new job.
There was a woman who applied who was pretty left-wing, but she was, like, from former military or whatever, and she went in, and without any background check, without anything, she just got an email from them that was like, congratulations, you got the job. And, like, they didn't do a drug test on her, they didn't do anything. Like, you could get a job as
I could get a ton of money too. Yeah,
and that was one of the things too. There was also this video that came out
like
where
$30K,
basically per apprehension or per kill.
I'm like,
there was this and there was this person they were talking about where it was in Florida actually. I saw this recently where they were laughing about this person that they, like, tase and, like, beat up and all this stuff, and they're like, yeah, well, such and such for $30K or whatever, $35K, whatever it was, and they're, like, laughing about it. These people are fucking monsters. Like, they're not. Yeah, they're not
good people.
No, they're not good people in the slightest. But I understand what you're saying, and I also understand how, somebody like you who is not, has tapped into this stuff. But here's the thing.
Someone like you.
Well, I mean, yeah. But I will say at the same time, a lot of people, even who aren't really tapped into politics, are seeing this stuff and are having, like, a similar moment that I did with the George Floyd situation. When I say murder, when he was murdered. And when the thing is, you had people like Kristi Noem, like, an hour after Renee was murdered, where she was saying that, like, Renee was, like, a domestic terrorist and all this stuff. What's crazy to me is they aren't using the kind of line and reasoning that they normally would of saying like, oh, well, this was a bad agent, this was, we'll look into it, we'll make sure this doesn't happen again. None of that. No, they're just like, oh no, she deserved it. She was this is a terrorist or whatever, and she wasn't. She was a regular person, and that's what is like part of what's waking so many people up. This could have been like your neighbor, your friend, your coworker, your at our age, not our mom, but it could have been someone It's ridiculous, and it's difficult to spin this in such a way that makes her seem bad and makes ICE seem justified, which is why people are. And like now they're like doing like they're going door to door. They're going, they're breaking down people's doors. They harassed this woman who was like, she had a DoorDash order, and for some reason the person like ran in her house, and the ICE is showing up, and they're like, oh, like we need to take her kind of thing because she was like Mexican or something or some kind of Hispanic. It literally is like, you're not hiding any Jews, are you? It literally is like, that's what this is. It's ridiculous. So I mean, we have like actual fucking. I mean, they're not goose stepping, but they're. The good thing is that they are. Like I said, they're fat, stupid, lazy, like morons for the most part. But they have a lot of guns and a lot of money, which is not good. But there have been images of them like slipping on like the ice and stuff in Minnesota, and struggling to get back up, and like all these different there are like and again there's a lot of pushback. There's all these different things. So like. There's a lot of mobilization and I would say positive radicalization that has happened because of this event, and that's good. But it's horrible that that it's gotten this far. That it's because it's nothing to do with immigration or anything like that. Like this is like it's even if it did, like that wouldn't make it good. But it's crazy. Yeah. But
that's my stance on that.
Yeah.
So
what your stance ultimately is now. It doesn't. Correct me if I'm wrong, because like. What a lot of people on the right were basically saying is essentially the message is comply or die. Like, we'll listen to them and you won't get shot. But correct me if I'm wrong. I hope that's not what you're saying. And instead, what you're saying, I think, is kind of more what my point was of like, if someone has the ability to hurt you like this and they're in this position, like, don't escalate. Like try to de-escalate and like I can actually give a good example. It fucking sucked, but that DoorDash thing I was talking about, like they're coming in and they're like, oh, we want, and they had a warrant, but it wasn't a real warrant. In order for police or ICE or anyone to get in your house, they have to, like if a cop knocks on like your door, my door, or whatever, if they don't have a warrant signed by a judge, a real warrant signed by a judge, you don't have to let them in. They don't have like reasonable cause, all that stuff. You don't have to let them in. ICE has these basically fake warrants that are like just by them. They don't hold up in the court of law, so you don't have to. But
Mr. Johnson, where were you last night at 11:27 p.m.? Driving here home.
Yeah.
Well, where were you before that? Work?
Yeah.
Where do you work? At a school? Like, I'm nothing special. If you want to check around, you can. You're going to find some swords.
Yeah.
Just, you want to look at my fridge? I got a whole bucket full of stuff in my fridge. It's like, but no, like, what you were saying, like what your point was. Not comply or die. That's insane.
Yeah.
No, it's like, don't give them a reason to harm you. In this case, told you to get out a couple times.
Well, but that was the thing. They weren't telling them to get out. They were trying to get them to it was weird because it was a very confusing situation because the one guy did at one point go to pull open her car door. Don't know why. Doesn't really make sense as to why he did that. They weren't originally trying to have her get out. They were trying to get them to move along. So that's what she was trying to do. She was like, okay, I'll go. That's what I'm trying to do, trying to get out of here. And that's when the guy was there. It wasn't good. There were too many. It was a deadly version of right hand doesn't know what left hand's doing. Too many people giving different orders. Too many trigger happy people. Why that one person even had their gun in their hand in the first place, should not have. Because here's the thing too. This is part of it as well. So my dad told me years ago, and I didn't understand this, but as a cop, any kind of law enforcement, you are not to pull your gun out unless somebody draws on you first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This guy should not have had his gun out. Simple as that. So that's one of the things too. There's so many. These people are, like you said, they're not good people, but they're also and this is why cops don't get along with them oftentimes either. They are not trained, hardly at all. Like we were saying, it's very easy to get a job with them. All these different. It's not. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But I do understand your point.
Like the other day when I got pulled over for speeding.
Yes.
He's like, yeah, I've been. That's such bullcrap. He, I pulled into one of the many car dealerships, and he was like, oh yeah, he came up and he was tactical geared out. I wouldn't be surprised if he was an actual ICE agent. I don't know if they have any wording of ICE to tell that they're a part of ICE, but he was so decked out and so much tactical geared gun, all the whole 9 yards. I wouldn't be surprised if he was an ICE agent, but pulled me over into a car dealership, came over and he's like, so man, I've been following you for quite a bit. Lie. Hope it was the only lie he said, because he was undercover. He was in a big black sedan thing, a family car or whatever.
I hate that shit so much.
And
those people should not be able to
pulled out of a parking lot, and then that's when he pulled me over. So in my head, I'm like, no, no, you weren't following me. You just pulled out, but I could have said that. I could have enticed something, but I was like, oh, sorry, sir, my bad. And he's like, you're going 50 in a 40 mile per hour speed zone. Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. I don't know what I said. I didn't realize it. I was going with flow of traffic, whatever I said. He's like,
sure.
All right, well, can I get your driver's license and registration, please? I'm like, yes, sure. Gave him to him. Again, just like however many years ago, just like all those years ago. He went to his car, was in there not even a freaking minute. Came back. All right, man, you're good to go. Just drive at a reasonable speed. All right, sir, thank you. Have a good day. Happy New Year. Oh, Happy New Year to you too. I drove off. He drove off. Went our separate ways. How do you do? So I could have opened my door and said, "You weren't following me." I could have done that, and I probably would have got shot or something, got tased, whatever. But I didn't. Again, the good Lord above gave us these beautiful things that we use on a daily basis. Christian, I don't know if you know this or not, but they're usually a little gray, sometimes a little pink. I think they're pink, but they're somewhat gray. They look disgusting.
They're more gray.
They usually control thoughts, memories, that kind of thing. It's called a brain. Brain. You can use the brain to make good choices, bad choices, whatever the case may be. I could have made a bad choice. But, so, that goes to show, like again, it's like, I could have gotten out and made a whole thing about it. And be like those psychos that I do see on, like, videos or whatever, and just absolutely just, how do you even act like, do you act like this on a daily basis? Like, you're crazy. So I could have done something like that, but I didn't. And I was like, all right, whatever. Pulled me over. It is what it is. You didn't give me a ticket, so that's good. So, but yeah, that's my short, sweet, and simple stance on that. I know some people, you're this, and some other people are like, I totally, I get what you're saying, or I agree with you, or I don't agree with you, but that's okay. Yada yada. Yeah. So that's my whole thing on it. But again, I want to emphasize, it is bad what happened. That should never happen. Just getting shot for no reason. So.
Yeah. So I do understand what you're saying, and I think you can. I was thinking about this myself, where, like, if I was, God forbid, but if I was in an by the way, I just have to point out, you said, I don't know if they have anything that, yes, they literally have things that say ICE.
Oh, they do?
Yes.
Oh.
Immigration Customs Enforcement.
This guy was dead out.
Yeah.
Helmet, the whole shebang. I was like, did you just come back from war? Like, it's okay.
So, like, when you're in a situation, like, okay, I was thinking about this myself. If I was in a situation like this, if I ever met one of these officers, which, again, God forbid, but if I did, I would do my best to keep things
a level
mellow. Yes, I would keep a mellow head. I might think in my mind, this is a fucking Nazi who wants to kill me and other people, that anyone that opposes them and their regime and their God, Emperor Trump and all that. And I think that, and that's all true. But in that moment, I'm going to do everything that I can to keep the situation from getting out of control. Now, Renee herself, again, in the footage shown, she did. Like, when the guy walked past, she said, "That's fine, dude, I'm not even mad." Like, she wasn't mad at him. She was like, "It's whatever." Again, I do think her wife antagonized the guy, which should not have been done. Does that make her at fault? Or no, but this is what I'm just saying, you don't want to give these monsters more of a reason than they already have to hurt you or your loved ones.
De-escalate as much as possible.
Yeah.
If you can.
Yeah.
If you can't,
but
you can defend yourself.
It is terrible. But it is terrible. And actually, I just saw, like, a post, an update, whatever. I haven't watched any of this stuff yet today, but apparently the National Guard has been deployed in Minneapolis now, so that's fun. But leading into that, or not leading into that, so let's talk about your comment you made. But I do like having these conversations with you as well. Even if you disagree, you're allowed to disagree with me. That's fine. Like, I want to and figure out, like, where we understand and don't understand or whatever. Because it for one, it's good to get another perspective. And for another, like, again, I never meant this as an insult, but, like, you being, like, a normie or, like, the average person when it comes to, like, political and social issues, I think that's good. I think it's good that you're not, like, super tapped in, because for one, it gives me and it gives the audience listening an understanding of, okay, here's what someone who's, like, super aware of this stuff sounds like, and here's what like a regular person sounds like. How do they have this conversation with each other? You know, and I think that's fair. But the other thing is, you know, said I've been slacking on my channel. Yeah, so I haven't posted anything since since October 31st, and I do want to talk about that. And I feel like I talk about this and I have the same conversation over and over again on this podcast, especially. I really am, behind the scenes, I really am trying to figure out, what I want to do, as far as like how I want to make content, how I can make content, because the job, okay, so here's the thing. When I started my channel, and when I had done my channel for the first couple of years, I had a work from home job, where I had a decent amount of downtime that I could read up on stuff, I could listen to, you know, podcasts or YouTube videos or, you know, video essays or streams from like, you know, Vosh or Hassan or Hunter Avalon or fucking Shoehead back in the day when I thought she was better than, that's a whole other thing. You know, you know, Abbott and Preach, ContraPoints, all these different people, right? And I got to a point where, so unfortunately, I lost that job. That job, I was working from home. Like I said, I was working from home. I had a lot of downtime. I had so much time and freedom to focus on this channel. There were times, not this, the podcast channel, my channel. There were so many times where I would literally be like editing and uploading that same day while working. I have not had that luxury since last January, since last year. At the end of January, I was let go from that job. And since then, I shortly after found a job where it was kind of stressful. It was kind of like a sales customer service. It was a similar job, kind of sales customer service, but it was in the office. They micromanaged the fuck out of us. And I didn't have the freedom or time or whatever to, you know, be keeping up with this stuff. I moved to a different department where I did have more time and freedom to be like keeping up with this stuff and following different things while I was working, but I wasn't really making enough to survive. I recently started a new job where they don't micromanage that much, but they're pretty strict about the whole no phones thing. And the best I can do, what I'm trying to do right now, is just like let stuff play, because like I have a headset on, and like let stuff play in like an earbud, kind of like softly in the background, and then maybe sometimes I make it a little bit louder or whatever while I'm working. And what I'm doing is it's basically like I guess it's telemarketing. Hey, you know, I'm calling people about their fucking car warranty shit, you know. And then I think when I talk to these people, I'm like, they're I don't want to talk. Like, dude, you think I want to be doing this? Like, I'm only here because this pays better than
the last job.
Yeah. So, you know, but I haven't had the freedom and time to do what I was doing on my own for about a year or so now. And what I have, so, you know, when we originally launched this podcast, okay, so there's a few things. When we did the original podcast, and every now and then, or like oftentimes throughout an episode or whatever, I would like talk about some like social or political issue or whatever, right? And we talk about it. That was how I realized I liked talking about this stuff, and I wanted to make my own channel doing this. When we started this channel, the original idea was for it to be more of a, like, you know, I don't even want to say, like, just laid back, because we don't, I mean, we even talked about some pretty serious stuff on the first episode, but it wasn't, you know, it was intended to be something where, like, I didn't want to focus on, like, the same kind of stuff I did on my own channel. Now, obviously, like anybody, like, the things you're passionate about are going to come through no matter what you're doing. But, you know, the thing is, so I'm kind of at a crossroads here, where, because I do enjoy talking about this stuff, but I don't know if I can, like, do it as specifically as far as, like, here's, like, these videos or articles or whatever I'm reacting to. You know, the same way, like, you've seen, like, Vosh or Hassan or these people. You know, if I can make content in that way.
Right.
I don't know if I can do that specifically anymore, because I don't have the time to find these things. But I do have the ability to still stay pretty informed on this stuff and talk about them, like, on the podcast. And what I'm thinking of doing now, because I'm at a crossroads where I can, like, talk about this stuff, like, broadly here, or when, you know, or when big things come up, I can still talk to them on the channel. But I've toyed with this idea for a while of going back to what I had originally called, and kind of redoing it, the media analysis concept that I branded Rambling Reviews, where, you know, I would talk about, like, you know, just different media, and talk about, you know, the how the story and characters and everything, you know, how would I say? We analyze different types of media and or their cultural relevance. And I do enjoy doing that. And that's something that, like, as you know, when we watch movies and stuff together, I can't help myself from doing even with that, you know? So, like, so what I'm thinking might even be the only option, and I'm trying to figure out how I want to do it, is to do that on my channel and talk about, it wouldn't be this explosive and this big every time. It's just that there was a lot to go through to catch up on. But to talk about those things on this podcast, because the podcast is kind of like, you know, it's a weekly thing. It's like we're talking about, like, both, like, our personal and, like, otherwise, like, current events and, like, all that, whatever. So it kind of just fits. But yeah, so I don't I don't know, you know, I'm trying to figure that out. So like I said, I've been sick for the past, like, 2 weeks now. So I haven't really been able to, like, test out I think this coming week I'll be able to test out what I'm wanting to do with relaunching Rambling Reviews, and I should have an idea. I think I knew with starting this new job I'd have an idea. I'd be able to figure out if I could keep making, like, political and social commentary content the way that I have on the channel, if I could keep doing that. And I think, unfortunately, the answer is no. Because of my restrictions with this job. And you can say, like, oh, well, you know, can't you just, like, find out about the stuff in your free time and then record? Sure, but, like, if I'm finding, for one, you gotta understand, people that do this stuff like the people, most of the people that are doing this stuff are already doing it for a living. Again, I mentioned Vosh, Hassan. I could mention again. I could do Hunter Avalon, Xander Hall, Denims. I want to say she's like a Hassan orbiter, but the people. Actual Jake, I think his name is. All these different people. These are people who, in one way or another, are doing this stuff for a living. And Cirrus is another example. These are people who are doing this stuff for a living. And yes, I can find out roughly something that I want to talk about or whatever, but I don't have the ability to just go through something as is and figure out then and there if okay, this is something I want to go over on the channel, and then dedicate that time once I'm home or whatever, especially if I'm trying to be able to have time to work out and stuff. It's very difficult to do this kind of thing when you have a full-time job. And when I was working from home and it was literally 6 o'clock, all right, put my laptop away, I grab something to eat and boom, I'm ready to fucking record. And I was already consuming this content throughout the day, so I know what I'm going to talk about for the day. When I first started, for a while, I was releasing a video a day, and I really would love to keep up that thing. Now, there is also a level of dealing with kind of the response that I've gotten from people and stuff, as far as comments and stuff go, as when I was before, how a couple times I was well, I think I want to pivot to this other type of content in the first place. But I'm still passionate about these things. So, one way or another, they're going to come out. And, so we have this podcast that we do. And for me, it's what am I going to talk about? Well, the stuff that's on my mind. Well, this is what's on my mind. You know what I mean? So it's but yeah, I'm at a point where I think I want to test a few things out. It's kind of like you with your how you want to do the Percy Jackson thing, channel or whatever. And then I'm also thinking about well, should I just devote my time instead to a different career path, and and of course working out and stuff like that. So I'm at a crossroads where I'm trying to figure out just what to do, because I cannot stress this enough, and I don't want to sound ungrateful for having a job or my own place or anything, because I'm very grateful. I know there are a lot of people who don't have jobs, who are struggling, or they're still living with their parents or whatever. I'm extremely grateful and realize how fortunate I am to be in the position that I'm in. And I want to acknowledge that it's very fucking difficult to do any of the kind of thing that I've done before with a full-time job where you have to drive half an hour to an hour to the office back and forth every day. It's fucking different. And I did this video when I started my last job where I said basically something, I think the video was called how people fall into the alt-right pipeline or something. And I explained that I understand how people like yourself who aren't super tapped in and are just going about their day and whatever, they have families they're taking care of, whatever. I understand how they fall into this because they're not aware of all these different things, and then they just hear about the crazy shit, and they hear about it on Fox News or some radio show or whatever, or fucking Joe Rogan or whatever, and they don't realize that they're getting these they're being propagandized to. And I don't blame people. I don't with you, for example, and again, that's why, like I say, never meant it to be like an insult. I don't blame you for being a normie. Like that's the thing most people are. You know, that's like, I don't blame anybody for not being tapped in to anything political or social or whatever. You know, the reason that like college students are so tapped into this stuff normally is because they're learning about this stuff. They're living this stuff on their campuses and stuff. And then the reason that I and other people who are tapped into this stuff is because we had something that fucking radicalized us. Like for me, again, it was fucking, you know, it was like I said, you know, the murder of George Floyd, and you know, and even beside that, like throughout 2020, having all that time to self-reflect and to reflect and learn about all these different things. Because again, like so much downtime at the job, with this job, I had this time to learn and to, you know, and I was, you know, I got tired of like watching like just movies and TV shows and, you know, like Let's Plays and whatever. And I was like, I started just, you know, watching, you know, mainly content about like Vosh, but like all these different, you know, people who were like talking about like social and political issues and in a way that I like could relate to and understand, and was like, oh shit, like I actually I get what you're saying, like I agree, like, you know, all this stuff. And you know, I don't have that privilege anymore. And you know, so I'm trying, because and the thing too is like, you know, it's easy to think and to say like, oh well, then, you know, why don't you just like, because these are things I think to myself, right? Like, well, why don't you just like, you know, learn, like spend the weekend like learning about these things or whatever, and then like figure out what you want to talk about for the week or whatever. And I could, but what you know, I liked that I was able to more kind of passively consume this stuff throughout my day while working. Because I mean, honestly, like, while I am interested in this stuff, and this is the average normie experience. I totally get it. I don't want to like sit down and like learn about the horrors of the world while, like, I don't understand people that like as soon as they're eating or whatever and they're like watching like tragedies on the news. Like, I never understood that. Or they're like reading the newspaper and, oh, such and such got killed today. Like, what the fuck? That's how you're starting your day? You know, like, I don't know. Like, I like consuming this stuff more in the background, like while I'm doing other things. And, you know, I don't know. It's I don't know. It's just very difficult to do that. With, you know, I was very fortunate to have a job where I was afforded that freedom, and I don't have it anymore. So I still stay informed. I'm still interested in this stuff. I still all of this, but you know, I can't consume information and produce content at the level that I did years ago. And it's like, I wish I could. It really sucks. So, you know, that's why I've started talking about that stuff more, even on like this podcast. You know, but normally, like if we, you know, when we're doing like every week, I'll only have like one thing, or I won't have to go on for like half an hour because I don't have to catch like all this other stuff. But you know, because the whole thing is like, we're getting very meta here with you guys. But like the whole like thing with this pod in general is, it's like we are just shooting the shit and sharing what's on our mind. And for me, that's some of the stuff. I have a non like, well, I mean, it's, I guess, well, no, I have a non-political thing on my mind too that I want to talk about. That we were talking about briefly as well. But like, that was one of the big things that was on my mind, and a good way to pivot and all, you know, based on what you were saying and all that stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out, and I appreciate, especially you guys that are staying with me on my channel that is kind of have been, dead for the past couple months. But yeah, all this for that one comment. You've been slacking. No, not slacking, but yes, I did want to, address that. And I don't know. I almost don't want to because I feel like I keep addressing it because I'm aware, but I feel like I keep addressing it, I keep talking about, I'm doing this, and then nothing happens, and I don't want to be one of those people. I'd rather figure it out and then be like, okay, this is what I'm doing now. But instead, I'll address the elephant in the room and all that. So I don't know. But yeah. There was a very recent non-political thing I want to talk about though too. I remember you looked at this with me as well. Although I guess before I get into that, especially to talk for so long there again, do you have I don't know, I guess what do you knowing me and being my friend and everything, knowing what do you think I should I don't know, what do you do you have any thoughts on I don't know what I should do or what's best for the pod or my channel or our audience or what, you know what I mean? Do you have any, I don't know, anything to add on to what I've said about my struggle? If that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like I don't need to add anything.
Okay.
No.
All right. Then we'll just get into the next thing. So it was. It's funny. It's so funny. When you're in a fandom of some sort, and you know about things that are happening before they're announced to the public, and you've already gone through the whole thing of okay, well that's kind of weird, but I get it, or whatever, and you've dealt with the backlash and the fan base and all that, and then it gets announced to the public, and then people are, what? This is crazy, how are they, why would, all that, and what I'm talking about is, I have known, as a fan of this franchise, for about a year now, that Sophie Turner is going to be playing Lara Croft in an Amazon Prime Tomb Raider series. What I didn't know, and what I am very pleasantly surprised to see, is that she looks like classic Lara Croft, from the 90s. However, and I remember I showed you the video or the image of it, I will say if you look at the image, the only thing that I would change is I would make her shirt a little bit lighter. Her shirt's a little bit too green. It needs to be if it's a little too much of a dark teal, it needs to be more of a light aqua.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, she looks just like Lara Croft.
Yeah. And
she's British. And people are like, oh, well, I don't think it's... What a lot of people don't realize when it comes to casting or fan casting or whatever is these are actors. These are actors and actresses.
Nope.
Their job is to play a different person than the people are well, because they saw her in Game of Thrones or something, and they're well, I don't know if she can play this kind of character. What the fuck do you mean you don't know if she can play this kind of character? You haven't seen her as this character yet. Maybe when you see a trailer or something and you see her deliver a few lines as Lara Croft or something like that, then you can say that, but you don't know fucking shit yet. Yeah. And people always jump to conclusions with this, similar to that the real Tangled cast thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. I remember you said you didn't think. What were we talking? I have to find it again. The Tangled cast, but
the actress, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think she's pretty enough. Or I don't think she's that pretty to play Rapunzel.
Yeah, it's so these are the people who were rumored. Who is it actually going to be now? They just did. Oh wait, it's Tegan Croft, right?
Show me a picture of her. Oh yeah.
Do you This was Raven in the live action Titans show.
Oh.
No, I think she's very pretty. I think she can definitely play. I thought it's crazy, maybe, but I thought that this Milo guy, Milo Manheim, was not like good looking enough to play Flynn. But yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, it's crazy, but I get it. That's crazy to me. What is it about her? Like, what do you think? I'm just curious. No, like, hater. I'm just curious. What do you not? I guess.
She just doesn't seem bubbly enough.
Okay, so I'm going to say the same thing I said about Sophie playing Tomb Raider. She's an actress. She's going to assume the part of that character.
Yeah.
We just talked about this. Because, okay, like, yes, she played Raven, and I don't really know anything else that she did.
I think McKenna Grace would be a great Rapunzel.
Can McKenna Grace sing?
I don't know. Can Raven sing?
I think they were going for a singing actress and McKenna Grace, which she's in like everything right now, and she's great. Like I love her, but these were the people they were trying to decide between. It was Freya Skye, who was in the Descendants movies or show. Was Descendants the show? I don't know. Sarah Catherine Hook. I don't recognize her. Tegan Croft. These are and Olivia Mai Barrett. They were all tested for Tangled, and then Tegan Croft won. Scarlett Johansson is no longer attached to play Mother Gothel, so we don't know, I guess, who's going to play her. I remember I saw something where it was between, that Frey person that I said, and McKenna Grace was one of them, and there were a few others, but, was this it? This might have been it. Sadie Sink might have been one of them, I'm not sure. But I don't know. I'm sure she'll be.
Yeah.
Like, again, she's an actress. Like, they're gonna be. Okay, let me give you a great example. Your favorite girl. Well, actually, not your favorite anymore. Well, maybe she might be. I don't know. Zendaya.
Mm-hmm.
She has played MJ in the MCU Spider-Man movies. She's played Rue in Euphoria.
Mm-hmm.
She played that tennis girl in that tennis movie. Or was it tennis or... Yeah.
Tennis, yeah.
Where she when she was a kid, she was on that, like, Casey Undercover and the show with Bella Thorne, Switch It Up or something. Pump it up, something up. Random, I don't know, something, whatever it's called. Shake It Up. And she has played different types of characters. She's been bubbly. She's been depressed as Rue. She's been, like, as MJ, I've said this many times before, she's not Mary Jane Watson. But she's not. She's Michelle Jones. That's the whole thing. She's not, like, bubbly. She's, more like... I don't even know how to describe her personality. She's like, not... I guess she's kind of like the cool, unattached girl, if that makes sense. My point is, she's played different characters. Like, actors and actresses do this. They play different characters. They play different...
Right.
So, like, Tegan Croft, she's gonna play a different...
Yeah.
Like, she's not going to be Raven when she's Rapunzel. And Sophie Turner is not going to be the chick from Game of Thrones or whatever else she's been in when she plays Lara Croft. Like, these are actors and actresses. So, I think
What I was implying...
Okay.
Actually, so I should reiterate more often than I don't. So, she's not who I expected would play the role of Rapunzel in Tangled.
Right. You thought it would be like McKenna.
Yeah, of course, she's an actress. Yeah,
yes.
I know she can act, we all know this. But, for me, is like, oh, she's playing? Okay, not my first choice, but...
Yeah, I just think people... Like, I think the internet in general has made people way too comfortable with being way too judgmental about, like, movie and TV show choices before it's released to the public. Because, you know, I'm trying to... What's a good example? Like, there are movies... I'm trying to think of fucking... Okay. No, maybe that's not. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, Zendaya was also in Dune. But you know, I don't know, how do I explain this? You know, you take these characters who are like known, these actors who are like known for like something specific, and this I'm drawing a blank on like any example right now, but this does happen a lot in Hollywood where someone is like known for a certain type of character or whatever, and they get cast as something else. Like, oh, really? Them? Like, that'll be terrible. That'll never work or whatever. And then they fucking like blow it out of the water.
Yeah,
they do a great fucking job.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just think people, you know, like they see like Sophie Turner or they see Tegan Croft or whatever, and they're like, well, that's not such. Well, no, they're a fucking actor. Like they're gonna do their job, and if the people that casted them see them as that person. You know, I think it's crazy how many people are like, oh, it should be Angelina Jolie. Angelina Jolie wasn't even British. Like, she didn't look anything like Lara Croft. Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah, so I don't know. I just... I think people are, in general, too quick to... not even necessarily you, but just like, I think people are too quick to, you know, to judge on this stuff that isn't even out yet. It's like, we don't even have a trailer yet. You know, it's literally just like, you know, the casting of this, you know, person in this movie or whatever, and you know, and yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's.
Well, no, it's just most people have an expectation of what this character could look like, you know, in live action, and then when it's announced that this actor or actress is going to play this character, some people might be like, again, like me, like, oh, okay, I was expecting so-and-so to play this character.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, whatever.
There were people for a while that were saying it might be Sabrina Carpenter, which I could have understood. Now it's funny.
I saw a post about that.
It's funny because of how short she is, but
yeah, and the reason that she wasn't cast is you're gonna get a kick out of this, is she was not pretty enough.
That's crazy. That is insane to me.
Like this actress that's gonna play Rapunzel.
What are you saying about Tegan?
My thing is,
so I guess I'm
my first choice that would come into my head is McKenna Grace. I think she would make a wonderful Rapunzel. When this actress came out or whatever, I was like, oh,
okay. Well, on that note, and maybe she'd fit really well for Frozen too. But I would say, I always forget her name, but let me find it. Who is the actress? I always forget her name. Yes, I would say, and maybe she'll work really well. She'd work really well for Elsa as well. But Catherine Newton, the girl that was the daughter in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, the girl who, like, I've shown you before, but like, this is very much my type, you know, where she had like the Starbucks thing and all that, and you're like, basic, yeah, her,
very basic,
very cute. But here's the thing, honestly, you guys know I want these characters to look how they originally did. My only thing is that, like, I want her to be like a cute white blonde who can fucking sing and is like bubbly and shit. I think Tegan can do that. I think Catherine would be my choice. Tegan is alright, but like there are plenty of like cute.
The only way to know for sure
Mm-hmm.
is when the film comes out.
That's what my point is. And with Sophie, like, actually, it's funny because I can understand people being like, "Oh, she doesn't look tough enough" or whatever. I get that. She looks pretty much like her in the cast photo we saw, but I think she looks too cute to be Laura, at least originally, because Laura Croft is very attractive. That's very much a point about her character, but she's not really cute. She's more of like a femme fatale kind of attractive. She's very she's strong, and she's got like a no nonsense kind of attitude. I mean, she has some fun and like banters and stuff with like her enemies and stuff, but she's not. She's not. She's not cute. So I would, if anything, think more. I would think Sophie is too cute, but she's an actress, So I see her as Laura in this thing, and I'm like, shit, like that's fucking Lara Croft. She even had the glasses, the sunglasses that Lara had in a lot of on the cover and different promotional material and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's great, but not even with what you were saying. As far as your point, I get your points, but I mean more people are too. Just with anything that's coming out these days, people are so and everything has to be either woke or not woke, or it's either woke or anti woke or whatever, and you got the fucking the chuds trying to make it even the fucking Mario movie, that came out, and there's the first trailer, and those fucking geeks and gamer guys were oh, it's gonna be woke because they gave Princess Peach pants. Fuck you. She's in her fucking racing outfit for 30 minutes of the film, and calm the fuck down. And then of course when it comes out, they oh, actually this movie did really well because it was anti woke. It's you guys are such fucking annoying. Yeah, the backpedaling and all that shit is ridiculous. But I don't know, people are just really fucking annoying about this shit. And I think it's fine and it's fun to follow the hype and speculate and all these different things. But I don't know, people get way too aggro about it. I mean, you saw it even with leading up to Percy Jackson, how people reacted to the cast of, especially we talked about before, but especially with Annabeth.
Mm-hmm.
People are fucking weird about this shit, I don't know. It's just I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I could probably go more into things, but I'm getting kind of tired. But also, I'm just I don't know how much more I could elaborate on that stuff anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I did have another thing that I've been wanting to get into for about a month now, but we will leave it. It's not pertinent. It's a whatever. We'll get to it another time. But yeah, that. Oh, by the way, this is another reason. Well, no. I'm not getting into another. I'm not getting into another thing. I'm not getting into another tangent. But I will say this is another reason why I go off on the political and social stuff, whatever that I'm interested in, because you don't come prepared. We talked about this. I even asked you. I was like, "What do you have in mind you want to talk about?" And you're like, "I don't know. I'm just gonna wing." I'm like, "You gotta come prepared, man. Otherwise, I will just fucking go off."
Usually, I have some stuff, but
yeah, I keep telling you when we come up with things where we're when I tell you, if you agree, when I tell you something, oh shit, we should talk about it on the pod. Fucking write it down. I'm gonna need to start doing that. I know we've talked about certain childhood things and all these different. Anyway, it's funny. This ended up turning out to be a very meta episode. I feel this should be called I don't know, where we are at the start of 26 or something. I don't know. Fucking, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. I don't really have wrap up or whatever to like a thing to. I guess I kind of do. I guess the main thing of what this episode is about is basically like just where we are here, like in our personal lives and with things in the world at the start of this year. And I hope, and I know you hope as well, that things get better for all of us, for the world at large, and for us personally. You're doing, I think, well with your diet and working out and stuff, and I'm going to be hitting the gym pretty soon here. I'm not tonight, but like, and all that stuff. So we're doing what we can. We're doing our things. We're trying to improve ourselves and in whatever way I can. I'm trying to do what I can to improve the world as well and figure out what I want to do. Like I was saying to our audience here in regards to like content creation and stuff. And I don't know, but so I don't know. I guess that's pretty much all I have to say. Do you have anything more to say on anything?
Just
weird episodes.
No, not really. But I do have one thing to say. Stay fresh, Pookies. Stay fresh.